She sits right across me. What do I say? Do I wait for it to be natural? Do I say it at all? Maybe I should just go to sleep. We start chatting. She's nice. She's responding to me. She finds the fact that I'm trying to speak to her in Spanish cute. So brownie points to me for the effort. We're chatting a little bit. We're having fun and it's time to go to sleep. So, okay, I doze off. Wake up. She wakes up. Buenos dias. We start chatting. She does speak a bit of English, enough to make it clear to me that she is in the competition for Miss Peru. Hi, I'm Bellic, a dad, storyteller, and a curious contrarian. I'm driving through Alaska in a home I built on wheels, sharing raw stories that help me cross the mental, the social, and physical borders of life. Because as we get older, our journey of self-discovery gets buried under routines and bills and commitments. But as I realized growing up, the real commitment, the scary and important one, is figuring out who we really are. I'm sharing my journey of self-discovery with you because it keeps me on track of my own authentic journey, and hopefully can help guide you on yours. This is the Borderless Experience, part podcast, part vlog, fully unfiltered. You can find these experiences and more on all socials and Spotify at Borderless Bellic. Now, let's literally get this show on the road, and thank you for joining the ride. Most of us grow up into a religion. Most of us never leave that religion. Some of us choose to move religions. For me, I grew up in a Jewish household in Israel, and my parents wanted me to have a upbringing that is traditional, not secular, but not very religious. They like to call it nishta here, nishta there, which is like not here, not there in Yiddish. So I was exposed to a lot of Judaism. I went to a school that taught extra Judaism. I would pray every morning and know all the prayers of the morning. And I would wear a kippah voluntarily. I had a strong connection to Judaism. 13, around my bar mitzvah, I remember going to the synagogue on a weekday to sit down with my rabbi. I was sitting there and I was reading the same scriptures that I've read. And I was realizing that I was doing the same thing and I didn't feel like there was a different outcome. I looked outside the window and I noticed a couple of kids, and the kids were playing soccer. I thought to myself, I am sitting here doing the same thing I'm doing every week and I don't see any change. What if I just went outside and played with these strangers and they became my friends? Took the bold move of taking off my kippah and telling my rabbi, I'm gonna go outside and play with my new friends. I never returned to that level of Judaism since. So this one time in Peru. So in 2012, I'm in South America traveling, and I'm in this beautiful town, which is in the northeastern part of the country of Peru, called Chachapoyas. There are a lot of waterfalls. Actually, the third highest waterfall in the world is there. In South America, you can get on a bus that takes you overnight, and you can buy a ticket that's a semi-cama or a cama. Cama is a bed, so half a bed or a bed. And I think it's mostly about like how much can you recline back. And as a 20-year-old hitchhiker and backpacker, I was not going to afford a full bed. So anyway, semi-cama was me. I took a bus, a night bus, back to, I think it's Arequipe. But this night was a bit different because once we boarded the bus, I'm sitting down and I see a beautiful local Peruvian woman get up on the bus. And in my heart, I'm hoping she sits in my vicinity. I have like a 12-hour drive. I would love to get to know a local. I'd love to get to know someone that could potentially have some kind of a romantic experience as well, if she's inclined. So I'm like, oh my gosh, this could be a fun element to this trip. She sits right across me. So my heart's pumping now, right? Because I'm like, okay, I want to say something. What do I say? I don't want to be just like a normal sentence. I'm hoping for like a real connection. Do I wait for it to be natural? Do I say it at all? Maybe I should just go to sleep. We start chatting. She's nice. She's responding to me. She finds the fact that I'm trying to speak to her in Spanish cute. So brownie points to me for the effort. We're chatting a little bit. We're having fun and it's time to go to sleep. And in my heart, I'm feeling like, okay, hopefully when we wake up towards when we arrive, maybe she'd be willing to show me around this town. And I know there's these famous pyramids built by the indigenous people hundreds, if not thousands of years ago that still remain there. Wake up. She wakes up. Buenos dias. We start chatting. She does speak a bit of English, enough to make it clear to me, among other things, that she is in the competition for Miss Peru. We arrive at the city We get off the bus and I muster the confidence to ask her to hang out with me. Like, it's a weekday, chances very, very low, and I do it, my heart's pounding, and she says she'd like to, but she has work, and that's fair. But in my mind, I'm like, I feel like every day could be an adventure, could be a memorable something, and when an opportunity presents itself, I like to jump on it. And so I shared that sentiment of like, I'm here, I'm really enjoying hanging out. Could it be possible for you to take like a half a day of sick leave or a full day? I feel like it could be fun. She's contemplating. She gets on the phone. She talks rapidamente and then hangs up, looks at me and says, okay, let's go to the pyramids. And I'm like, what? We spend the next hours together, and I have now a local tour guide friend exploring the pyramids. She's telling me about the pyramids and how unique they are. And oh my gosh, still look at all the snow. Wow. And potholes. Whoa. Wow, I kind of want to lay on the... this could be fun. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Refresher, you know? A refresher. I'm going to go for it. I think you can still hear me. Yeah. Oh. Fun. And off we go. We continue the trip. Okay, so I'm in the pyramids. In my mind, I'm like, is something gonna happen between us? Is she gonna go back to work? Is this a half a day? And she said, let's go to this restaurant and eat ceviche. Ceviche is raw fish with like a lemony, zesty vibe. And I never ate ceviche before. Kosher wise, like I was quite obedient growing up. It was like, if I eat something non-kosher, then God might smite me. And I know it might sound ridiculous to some and sound legitimate to others, but that, for example, was in my head. And since that instance, taking a significant step away, I decided that I want to explore more things and see and question. And ceviche, it was with this woman. Now, wherever I'm traveling, I try and meet Jews, local Jews. So we're sitting down and we're eating, and I told her about my upbringing as a Jew and how I enjoy traveling the world and understand their customs, what they eat and how they pray. And it's fascinating because there are Jews in so many different corners of the world. And so when I told her this, she stopped me and she said that she has a close friend who is a quarter Jewish, and we're not in Lima. Lima is the capital of the Jewish community. This friend of hers is native and lives in this area and might want to meet me. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh, look at the view in the window now. That's nice. So I'm thinking to myself, wow, this kind of got a turn, didn't it? Started off with me being interested in this woman, and now we're talking about religion and connecting me to local Jews, and I got really excited. And there he is, like 15 minutes later, he's eating ceviche with us. And we're talking a bit about his background and the Jewish upbringing or lack of that he's had here in this rural area now. He asked if I'd be interested to come and sing. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, yes, do I want to meet these people and hear about what they do and how they celebrate their Judaism, and if there's any way for me to help and support. And we drive there. And at this stage, my friend, the woman, had to leave. We exchanged details, and off I am with her friend in the car driving, and we enter sketchy neighborhood. It's poverty-stricken, and I'm thinking to myself, wow, look at this lake. So many places we could camp on. Side note, so many locals here say that they love Alaska so much because it's like the last place without rules to some degree. You really feel it when you're driving around. You can park anywhere you want. You can explore. You can enjoy. It's quite liberating. So back to this rural town. Suddenly I see there's a gate and there's a Star of David on one of the buildings. And I thought to myself, wow, this is so surreal to be here in the presence of these Jews. What's next? We enter the gate, and this man approaches. My friend tells him about me and what's the story. And he was so excited to meet a Jew, and he calls all his family. There are a lot of prayers in Judaism that speak to and of Jerusalem, and so for them to have, for the first time in their existence, a first circle connection to this place. Everyone got really emotional. It was really beautiful. I'm gonna slow down because there's some cars who want to overtake me, I think. So I'll let them do that, and we can enjoy the view for another moment or two. Come on, friends. Go on. Overtake me. You're all good. You're good. Then he says, and in Spanish, and my Spanish is like, yeah, comme si, comme ça. That's French. What are you even talking about? They ask me to do prayers with him. Now, in Judaism, the eve of Friday is the holy day, also known as Shabbat. And I'm telling you this because at that time, when I was there, it was not Friday, it was not Saturday. I don't know what day it was, but it didn't matter because we all felt this sense, the need to bless this moment. And so they pulled out their Kiddush wine. Kiddush is to bless. And it had Hebrew on it. And it was a wine that they got a long time ago. It was very likely expired, and they kept it for a special moment. And there he is, opening the bottle of wine. And because I grew up learning and reciting prayers, I knew this prayer off by heart. They knew this prayer, and we did it together. And it was very emotional. Even now I'm feeling it. It was that sense of coming together and connecting, even though we're so different. The commonality of a book uniting people and also dividing people. Before I leave, I remember that we were at the gate, and I felt a desire to ask if there's a way for me to help, to contribute. I remember that a week or two prior, I was in Cusco, which is next to Machu Picchu. I bonded really well with a rabbi at the Chabad. And Chabad, I don't know if you've seen some previous videos I've made of the Borderless Experience, I spoke about Chabad. So Chabad essentially is this Jewish sect when they're kind of missionary in the sense that they go abroad and they try and connect Jews to each other, Judaism. When I travel, I also try and go there for a sense of home. And I bonded really well with this rabbi, and I told my new friend, told him I'd connect them. We all hugged each other. Off I went in the car with my new friend to the next bus stop. So I wrote an email to that Cusco Chabad rabbi, sharing with him this experience and asking to have them connected to the Chabad so that they can further explore and live the Jewish life that they wanted to live. It was like a full circle, my exposure to Judaism and knowing the prayers and then choosing to focus on human connection, to then journey off around the world and find those human connections, and how that human connection brings me back to my Judaism and I'm able to connect them to their own Judaism. Love that. When I think of takeaways, I actually don't want to think of takeaways for this. I'm intrigued to know if you have any takeaways. It would be lovely to read comments and hear your thoughts and engage with you on what you think. I really appreciate that you care and that you're with me. And I want to welcome you to check out on social media, Borderless Bellic, other experiences, short form experiences I'm posting out there. Thanks for joining the ride. Much love. Bye.